I was once that girl that was associating directly with her thoughts. I was that girl that was not happy to be on this earth, that was living a life, I could have lived much better. I was living broke, depressed, anxious. I would look in the mirror and I would blame everybody but myself. And I was not proud of who I was. There was a point in my life years ago where I was struggling. I was struggling with acne, anxiety, depression. I was broke as well. There's nothing going right in my life, unfortunately. And back in the day, I didn't understand one thing, that I am not my thoughts. And the thing about this concept, once you fully understand it, that's when you can unlock the hidden gems in your mind, right? The hidden gems that will help you become, a world traveler, become someone that actually reaches their goals, become someone that achieves their dreams, and become someone that, is proud of what they do and proud of what she looks like in the mirror, right? And that's how you take back control of your life, take back control of your mind, is truly understand that you are not, your thoughts. You are a separate entity from your thoughts. And that's what will unlock freedom for you. And that's what will unlock a life that you truly feel passionate about, that you like to live, right? Whether your goal is to become an entrepreneur online, or your goal is to become a world traveler, or someone that makes a ton of money and lives by the beach. It doesn't matter what your true goal is. As long as you understand this one thing, that's when you can start unlocking different areas of your life, because you understand that you're simply not your thoughts, and you can unlock a much smoother way of living. So I'm going to unpack that in this video today, and how it completely changed my life, and how it can completely change your life for the better. And it simply starts off with understanding that your thoughts, and understanding the different elements that actually influence your thoughts. So first of all, if you can see this circle here, this is who we are. This is the entity that we are. And it is actually completely separate from every single idea or thought that comes into our brain. So this is who we are. This is our consciousness. This is what we are right now, right? A physical being watching this video. This is reality. And if we go out here, this circle right here that I'm drawing are your thoughts, right? And the circle around it, it's your emotions and your feelings. And the circle around this is your environment and the people and the places you are surrounding yourself with every single day. So if we break this down even a little bit, right? We're right here and we're completely separate from our thoughts. We have to understand that everything else is actually kind of an illusion. It's what our brain tells us. And it's what a lot of people, most people, 99% of people actually associate with on a daily basis. So our thoughts sometimes can be negative. They can be positive. They can be, fear-based thoughts, or thoughts charged by emotions that we don't want and lead us to make decisions that we don't want. And that's the gap that most people have right here. The gap that most people have is that these thoughts are affected specifically from emotions, right? And they're charged from emotions. And these emotions and thoughts here are programmed from our environment. And our environment can be our information that we consume on a daily basis. Guys, it is the information age. There's an abundance of information out there, and that's why so many people struggle with this topic. So many people live lives they don't want to live, even though there's an abundance of information out there, is because people don't understand how to filter it and how to control their thoughts around it. Our environment also can be the people that we associate with. If we associate with gossipers every day, if we associate with people that are judgmental, people that break us down instead of building us up, that don't believe in us, tell us our goals they're not possible and they sound crazy and ridiculous. Those are the people that are going to influence our thoughts. Even the media and the media that we watch, the Love Island and the Netflix and the Hulu and the shows that we watch every day and the TikTok scrolling that we do, all of the information we consume actually affects our emotions, our thoughts, and our emotions charge our thoughts. And once we put that separation, look at this. This is us right here. And this is a thought here. That could be charged. It could be a stormy thought. It could be actually a bright cloud up here. Who knows, right? depending upon maybe the emotion that charges it. But most people combine that, and they think that this stormy cloud is right in their brain. But really, it's actually completely separate and it's far off. But your perception that it's combined with yourself is leading you to move through life like an animal, like someone that craves sugar and just goes eat sugar. If you know anything about sugar, it does clog up your brain. It makes you foggier. It's going to actually produce more negative thoughts for yourself. It's going to produce more thoughts that are going to lead to your downfall. It's going to lead to you continuing in the spiral of living a low quality life, living a life that you don't enjoy, right? Living a life where when you look in the mirror, you cringe. And that's the life I used to live, because I used to emotionally charge thoughts and not understand that this storm cloud can actually pass by literally the snap of my fingers. That's where free people are born. Simply by separating the storm cloud and letting it pass naturally, right? Or even by the snap of their fingers, by simply, truly understanding to the highest capability that you are not your thoughts. And our environment up here could be really anything, the place of work that we have. There's many beads that could create, this environment. It's everything that surrounds us. And it impacts our emotions and it impacts our thoughts. And that's where the association comes into play. Our thoughts right here. And our thoughts, just like the storm cloud here, they're actually an illusion. So we can be completely delusional and have negative thoughts. If we look at this graph here, negative thoughts, or we can be completely delusional and turn thoughts around and challenge those thoughts to turn them into positive thoughts. Because at the end of the day, fear, anxiety, discomfort, that's not actually associated with truth. God put us on this planet, on this earth, to live positively. But the devil on our shoulder is creating that negativity. It's creating the anxiety, the discomfort, everything like that. And the devil fools us into thinking that's a way of life and that it's a true thought. The devil does. The devil is tricky because the devil will fool us into thinking that procrastination is okay. That thinking that, hey, pushing things off for next week is okay. Instead of actually questioning that gap and questioning that way of flawed thinking. The devil is so tricky that he'll be on our shoulder and think that this way of thinking, this procrastination, he'll be so tricky and actually disguise it as something else. Not make you problem aware of this actual, disease, this disease way of unacceptable thinking. When this is the type of thinking that leads us to failure. It leads us to that life and that loop that doesn't stop, that's always happening, right? That infinity loop that keeps us stuck. So the devil will charge these negative emotions, put these negative emotions in our thoughts and our physical thoughts. So we have our thought here. We have a negative emotion, which is the lightning inside the storm cloud here. And the devil will charge it and throw this weather in your brain. We have to weather the storm. Meaning that most people think that they cannot control this weather that goes into their brain. But once we take hold and understand we can weather the storm, we can actually snap our fingers and let it go because we understand the root cause. We're asking ourselves, why? Why is this storm happening? Why is this discomfort happening? Why is this fear happening? Have that unlock, right? Have that unlock around this emotion, because negative emotions are from the devil and the devil is not truth, right? We have the devil, the demon on our shoulder, and the angel on our shoulder. Angel powers the positive thinking, the freedom, the high frequencies. But the devil on our shoulder, right? The devil on our shoulder is powering the fear and the discomfort. Thou shalt not fear, right? You should not fear the devil, you should fear God. Because the devil is falsities. The devil is not real. So the devil is sending the storm cloud into your brain when, if we just simply ask ourselves why, question negative emotions that are clouding these negative thoughts. Ask yourself why. Simply. We will get to the root cause, and eventually the negativity and the negative emotions will disappear. Because we get to the root cause and we understand, hey, fear is disguising our action and what we need to do. Fear is a disguise that's the devil disguising the root cause and making you think that, hey, it's okay to not lean into the fear. Hey, it's okay to avoid the fear. Hey, it's okay to procrastinate around the fear. It's okay as a young woman to push off her goals, to not move out, right? To move out next year because it's going to be more comfortable. We're going to be settled in, to push it off, right? To go traveling and leave the country for the first time next year, to leave our hometown next year because we think that it's okay to not lean into the fear and to avoid the fear and not solve the root cause and find the truth. And that storm cloud is all over us. And that's how you can take back your 2026. That's how you can go from Walmart worker, broke, anxiety, to someone that's living their dream life. You simply can snap your fingers and create your reality. Gloria, you always say you can take back control of your mind and create your reality. How do you do that? You simply disassociate yourself from the demon, from the devil, fooling you into these toxic thoughts, which is fooling you to take action that's not for your better long-term self or better long-term future. That's the problem. You've been in this infinity loop for years. You've been having this feeling that there's a greater calling in your life. You've been having this desire and this buildup inside of yourself. There's something telling you in yourself that they've had it, right? They've had it with this BS, this mess of a life that you created for yourself. The habits, the bad habits, the smoking, the energy drinks, the laziness and the procrastination around even school, around taking that step to start your online income journey, to finally leave your 9-to-5 job by finding another path to do so, by finally taking that step and traveling for the first time, solo traveling, by taking that step and doing something that someone told you not to do. Simply, you can unlock your mission by snapping your fingers and deciding that you are more than your thoughts. You are separate from your thoughts. Remember that fear, anxiety, these negative emotions, right? These negative emotions that are powering those thoughts, they're negative and they're all an illusion. But same time, on the other side of the spectrum, we have positive thoughts, right? About future. Like anxiety is worry about the future and the past. And you could have abundance around the future and around the past. It's all an illusion. Abundance, happiness around it, and fear around it. Guys, it's all an illusion. You can simply choose how you want to be delusional. You can become delusional to find success. You just have to understand that it's all an illusion. Be delusional. What if it turns out better than you could possibly imagine? Opposed to, hey, what if I fail? What if it doesn't work? It's simply understanding that. Same with your finances. If you are struggling financially or you don't make as much money as you want to, right? You make maybe $1,000, $2,000 a month, right? Say this girl right here, she makes $1,000 a month. She's grinding at Walmart or grinding as a waitress. She doesn't make that much money, $1,000 to $2,000 a month. And she's out here and she's fooling herself, and she has all of these negative thoughts, these negatively charged thoughts with negative emotions around fear and judgment and maybe even laziness and the feeling of discomfort, right? Because she's so comfortable in her job, but she's uncomfortable in the sense of how much money she makes. But she's so comfortable that even leaning out a little bit is uncomfortable. This is most people. This is a lot of people. They're so stuck in this loop of making just, a comfortable amount of money, but it's not comfortable at the end of the day. They're barely making it. And this girl is struggling with all of these negative thoughts, and she's associating them in her brain. And when she goes home every night. She says she's going to go online. She's going to go on YouTube. She's going to join a course. She's going to join a program. She's going to take back control, take back reality, take back her finances. She's going to take that step. But what happens? Her boyfriend hits her up. Do you want to go to a party, right? Or her friends hit her up. Do you want to go to a party? Her friends are the people telling her about her dreams and how they're unrealistic. And then there's Netflix, right? On her phone, there's Netflix right in front of her, in front of the freaking kitchen table, and she's watching Netflix, and then she all of a sudden forgets that, it's in the very, very back of her mind, maybe. But she doesn't have that strength to put it down. She wants to stay comfortable, watch Love Island, and then she wants to eat a pail of ice cream before she goes to bed, and then she wakes up and just forgets until she has that pain again when she goes to work. She hates her job, and then she has that same loop over and over and over again. And that girl is associating her thoughts and the feelings around her thoughts. She's associating them into her brain, into herself, and she thinks that she's her thoughts when she's a completely separate entity from that storm cloud around her mind. If she simply removes and pushes away the storm cloud, weathers the storm, and asks herself why, gets to the root cause. Why do I feel discomfort? Why do I feel fear? Why do I feel this procrastination? Shines light on what's not conscious. She will unlock greater truth, and she will not have negative emotions that are charging the procrastination around what she knows she needs to do, which is taking that step and finding a way to make more money, finding an online income path so she can unlock her dreams, which is traveling the world. She can unlock those dreams of being her own boss and not, clocking into a 9 to 5. She can skip the, begging for the paid time off. She can skip all of it by simply weathering the storm, removing the storm cloud by questioning, by shining light on the storm cloud there in the first place, by identifying negative emotions, by identifying her environment here, the negative influences that are programming her thoughts. Instead, what if she listens to podcasts and YouTube videos and things that fuel thoughts? What if she uncovers the truth by questioning the fear and understanding and pushing it so much where she gets to the point where it is that devil on the shoulder? She asks herself, why am I feeling this way? What's happening physically that's making me feel this way? Right? What's programming my mind? What caused me to feel this way? And she's getting to the root cause, which is that devil on the shoulder, fooling herself, and she pushes that thought away. And then she reels in that positive thought, that delusional thought of what if it could work out better than I could possibly imagine. And then she leans into that instead. And guys, it's that simple. Once you snap your fingers and stop fooling yourself, and snap your fingers and more so shine light on what we're not saying, you can unlock the truth. You can unlock the greater mission. You can unlock a life where you're living day to day free. You're not clocking into the 9 to 5 job. You're not clocking in and being bossed around, right? Being told when you can go to the bathroom, when you can go eat. You're not out there feeling that dread every day about living that life you don't like, you don't feel fulfilled by. You're just coasting and going through because everyone else says it's fine. Society's programmed you to do so. If you take that step back and simply take a look at your thoughts and zoom out a little bit, ask yourself, why? You can unlock anything. And that's how you take back control of your mind in 2026. That's how you take back control of your reality and take back control. And that's how you can start living the life you truly want to live, just like I did. I'm traveling the world right now. I don't say that to brag. I tell you that to show you what's possible. So this is your sign. Go take back your thoughts and shine consciousness on it the next time you feel uncomfortable or afraid, or the next time you find yourself doing something that truly deep down you don't want to do.